Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the BAW show. We're joined by Terry tonight. Hello, how are you, Tez?
Hello, it's finals week. Fire up,
It is.
Shan. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Amanda. um, so finals footy, haven't been in the finals for 5 years, I want to say.
Yes.
And in the spirit of finals, we have a special guest with us, joining us on the show this week.
We do.
Tez, do you want to bring our special guest?
And here he is, Coach Buck.
Coach Buck. Hello, Matt. How are you?
Hello, guys. How are you? I'm great. I'm going really well. Like you said, it is finals week. Very exciting team at the moment. Players are all really excited. And I know, go to Icon Park first time since 2019, I think. So for our first final back there. So exciting times.
It is. And I think we were due to play in a semi-final in 2020 before they cut the season. So that was the last time we saw any kind of finals footy in the W space. But tell us a bit about what's been happening this week.
Yeah, well, obviously you have to make the trip back from Perth firstly. So come back and, my message to the players was soak it up and enjoy the win. And once our feet touch down in Melbourne, we'll reset and get ready to, we didn't know who we were going to play at that stage, of course. So come in on Monday, have a really clear understanding that we're going to play West Coast again. And then, we started to do our review of our last game and recover on Monday night. And then, had some training today, which was fantastic. But place is a bit of a buzz. Players are excited. Staff are excited, which is really cool.
Yeah, fans are excited too.
Fans are excited.
Very much so.
Very much so.
Coach, I've got. I was talking to Matty Gearan yesterday, and I mean, I'll ask you the same question. I think oftentimes you can look at the group this year and say, okay, there's clear improvement, but obviously a lot of work's been going on for quite some time. What was there a specific turning point where you think you got more confidence in the group to say, wow, they've really turned the corner here? Because I mean, it's been an improvement of a year, which everyone's excited about, but what's happened behind the scenes that maybe we don't know about?
Yeah. At the end of last year, it was clear we still had a lot of work to do. I distinctly remember our exit meeting, our talk to the whole group around, we went with Neil Danaher's famous speech around, it's not what you say, it's what you do. And, over our Christmas period and January period is the time where you can, you can't win it, but you can lose it. So if you don't look after yourself in a really good way over that period, you can be behind the eight ball when you turn up, let's say in February. So credit to our players. They got to work, and when they did turn up after the blackout period, they were in terrific shape. And, our high performance team, which I often speak about, but they deserve the credit, headed by Steve Moore, they're 24/7, and it wouldn't matter if it was Christmas Day. Steve would turn up at your door and take you for a run if you needed to. So we're particularly lucky to have those guys, and and their playing group that was hungry to get better and hungry for success, and they've been that way since I got there. And it's just been about laying the foundations to start with, and then educating and guiding them on what they need to go and do. And they went and did that. So once we got back, they were fit, so we didn't have to worry about that too much. That was always going to continue to happen throughout the pre-season period. But we got to get to work on their fundamentals, improve some of the players' skills in a big way. And Harriet Cordner, at the ripe age of 26, I think she likes us to say, is her improvement in her kicking's been really evident this year, and it's supported our entire team with our ball movement starting in our D50. So the way we got after those fundamental skills and the way our players applied themselves to kind of continue to improve in that area has helped us dramatically. But above all, Ronnie comes back from a knee reconstruction, and Liam, our rehab manager, really lived in her pocket, and she leaned in really hard to come back a brand new athlete. And obviously, we go to the draft table and bring in Poppy Scholes, Lulu Field, and Sophie McKay, of course, and they've had a significant impact on us on field, but also off field, which has been great. So, behind the curtain, I guess that's a little look into what we've chased. But all credit to the players. They've been willing to take it on and get after it.
It's been an incredible journey to watch the girls over the course of this season, and even parts of the back end of last season, just watching them as a group kind of collectively just go, all right, this is what we're chasing. And it's been evident in just pretty much every game that we've played this year that what you're trying to achieve. And I think my highlight is probably beating Brisbane in Brisbane. It was probably the first time that we actually saw it really connect really well and take on a team that's ultimately finished in the top 4. So we know we can match it with the best. So it's been pretty impressive to watch this year, and I'm glad that the fan base is really starting to get behind the girls.
Yeah, it was one of those great milestones. You have one of those wins that can really set up your season, and the way our fixture is based, if you can beat one of those teams that are from the top 4 historically, it can really set up your season. And it's obviously helped us finish in the finals here. But, we felt that swell of support from our supporter base, especially post that Brisbane game. But, we've always loved our supporters kind of coming down and cheering us on. And we're fortunate with Carlton supporters. They're so loud. So, get them into Icon Park and it's fantastic. So we get a real buzz out of that and kind of can't wait to kind of feel that again this weekend.
Don't you worry, we're definitely all going to be there in full voice. I spoke to Mim earlier this week because I've seen her quite often, and she knows that we're going to bring the noise. So, Manta, did you have anything for Coach Buck?
I did. Yeah, you mentioned Harriet and Jerron Fitzpatrick, but I'd like to know if there's anyone else who you think really hit the preseason and the off-season hard, and you can see that throughout the game time this year.
Yeah, I think we can. Like Kira Fitzgerald, for example, who plays every week for us, but may fly under the radar of the competition. Over the first couple of seasons, and she's an injury replacement player, which is an incredible story. So to come in as an injury replacement player a couple of years ago, her first year in and out of the side, but is now just such an established player for us. And has this confidence off half back and silky across the ground and ability to kick the ball. So she's one of my favourites who had a great preseason. And Maddie Hendry, a little bit the same, who she goes back to Sydney to live with her family over the break, which is absolutely fine, but turns up in terrific shape and lent into what her role would be this year. And she's really clear on what success looks like in the role. So that education around, your stats aren't important. For some roles, right? We need Abby to go and get 25 and have the clearances and all those kind of things, and that's fine. But we need Maddie to play her deepest defender role and be able to execute that. So those two in particular stand out. Yasmin Dersma a bit the same, who was away for the off-season, but again was another person who turned up in career best condition and has had a great year of football because of that.
Makes a difference, doesn't it, in the end? When you got we've touched wood, we've had a pretty good injury list this year, apart from I think Yaz was probably the longest that we had out with her collarbone. And I know Kira personally, and I've watched her in her VFL career and then just how she's taken off. Her foot skills, just her ability to find someone anywhere on the ground is something I've said to Amanda during games quite often. But no, I agree in terms of just watching the girls grow and just knowing their role. And our back six this year has probably been the solid I've ever seen it. So kudos to your backline coach.
Well, that'd be Glenn Strawn, who's been with us since the start as well. So he brings the passion to the backline role, and they're all a bit boring back there, the defenders, but he seems to bring the best out in them. So Darcy's gone to half back as well, and has had a significant impact back there for us. So there's some nice stories back there for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I've got one around fear, right? So I think when the girls when they've played their best this year, it's been when they haven't tapped into the fear. They've played with that fearlessness or that bravery, if you call it. How do you coach that this week to know that play our best footy when we don't have fear, and not to get too caught up in the moment, but also understand that you're playing finals football and you should be embracing it?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's something we addressed early in our preseason, to be honest, around the way we wanted to play. And we've obviously went after contest and defense to begin this kind of build of this team and lay those foundations that are really important. But sitting down with the players this year, they wanted to be bold and they wanted to play a fast, attractive kind of brand of football. I said, well, let's lean in. And, I can still remember those first couple of kicks in the Collingwood game, that led to a Poppy Shoals blind turn through the middle, right, which was heart in the mouth kind of stuff. And then it was like, oh, okay, stuff it. Let's throw it out there and see what happens. And it worked a couple of times, and then they haven't held back. So we go into a big final this week where, you can kind of clam up and you might, play a bit rushed or, just take it down the line because that's safe. But not for a second this year has our team kind of sat back and wanted to play that way. Like, there's been some teams that try and force you to play that way, but the boldness of our group and their ability to take on that fear, if you like, and still go through the middle and go for your kick. And we give them absolute permission as a coaching group, like, go and stuff that one up. It doesn't matter. That's why we did so much work on the contests, because if we do stuff it up, we know we're really good in that. And we'll have some protection. And you know what, if they do score off it, that's okay. We'll just get the next one. So we'll set them up that way again and get them to go, because at the end of the day, if we were unfortunately to lose the game, then we want to lose going down our way, not lose going down a safe way. So no, I think you can expect to see us go for it again.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. And the contest against West Coast in Perth was actually really hotly contested for 3 and a bit quarters, and then you kind of just broke it open in the last. So how did Das find themselves kicking a torp after the siren?
Yeah. Well, we want our high defenders to come up and protect the ground off a turnover, right? But Das is right inside our attacking 50 is a little bit too high, but there Das was, and Mimi, with her elite foot skills, was able to find. I've got to be honest, I was actually throwing a few high fives on the bench because obviously we were going to win, and I missed the kick.
Oh no!
But Jess Del Pos took our whole team through some we call them love clips today, just of some celebrations of things that we do on field. And the big talk was in there, and the celebration of not only our players but support staff on the back of it. Great reward and proof, we've called it, for the effort that you put in. You get that reward. So how fitting that it's Darcy kicking a torp, of course, for a goal after the final siren goes. Yeah, so pretty cool moment.
No, I think the commentary was like winding back the clock or something like that, because Darcy isn't that old, but
yeah.
No, I also had another one with the introduction of the younger crop with Abby and Poppy. Have you noticed a difference in the way that they go about their footy in comparison to someone like a Harriet Cordner, who's probably been in the system a bit longer? Do you see that with the introduction of the girls playing in their own comp from like 12, the difference in the skill level entering into the W competition, as opposed to someone like Harriet, who probably only picked it up in like 18, 19?
Yeah. So if we talk about their football abilities and how they come through, they're significantly different. And even in my time, what I've found is I used to have to teach the nuances of the game. So, the ball's on the ground and 2 people are coming at it. This is how you turn the body to protect yourself. But we don't really need to teach these new players these nuances anymore. They come in through their experiences that they've had through junior football and playing. A lot of the people we draft now have played more football than some of the people that have been on our list for a number of years. So they actually have quite a lot of experience. And what that means is we can move straight onto a skill-based or onto system learning and how we want to play, which advances us really quickly. But I mean, the first half of your question on how do they prepare differently, they prepare incredibly differently. The new age athlete compared to your older athlete. Now, little insight for you guys is before a game. Now, the singing and dancing that happens before a game is quite extraordinary, to put it simply, and it's something that I was fortunate enough that earlier this year, to go on a coach's tour over to America and got to experience some elite level women's sport over there. And, I saw the exact same thing where, there's singing, there's dancing, there's lots of fun prior to a game. And, you do your own personal research as well. And whether that be the WNBA or the soccer overseas, those kind of things, I'm seeing the same things. And not that I ever kind of put a lid on that with the players at all, but this year we've kind of, taken the lid off and said, hey, I want you to lean in really hard on this. And, Poppy Scholes has led the way on that, to be honest, which is they're not, it takes nothing away from how they play. And if anything, I see advantages to them being able to go out nice and calm and relaxed. And it's been a little evolution of our entire coaching network to go, hey, this is okay. And we've got Astor O'Connor on our coaching network, and no one's as old school as Astor O'Connor, I can tell you that. So for her to sit there and say, no, this is a good thing, I know we're on a good thing. So the new age kind of player coming through, that they're exciting when they go and play on the field, but they're kind of changing the game off the field as well, which is cool.
Do you get a chance to?
Sorry, Tiz.
Do you get a chance to pick up the microphone and sing yourself? Do you have a song?
Can you imagine?
No, I prefer the song after the game. So if we're going to have a sing, I don't mind doing that one. But no, I leave the pre-game stuff to those guys and just step back and, big smile on your face, which is pretty cool.
I was just going to say, it happens at local footy still, so it's nothing new.
Yeah.
That's how everyone is celebrating at the moment, or getting their pre-game pump up as well. Just on that, on the excitement, and it goes back to what Terry was saying before about fear. Shannon and I have talked a lot this year about how we think that the team are very exciting to watch. Do you think that comes from that lack of fear, that not worrying about making a mistake, that makes it seem a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, and that the connection is really strong?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that, but it comes with a lot of work, to be honest. So it's a lot of work that we chase as a group over the preseason, and we go and practice that, and we have a great sports psychologist as well who helps us with our ability to, when you do make a mistake, how quickly we can move on or be where your feet are, so that you don't have to kind of dwell on that. So it does look fearless and calm and nonchalant in a way, but the background of that is a whole lot of work to support our players, because they're driven athletes that want to win every single time, and they want to be great every minute they're on the field. So for them to make a mistake, if we don't do the work, they carry it really heavy. But if we do the work like we've done, they can be free and play with that kind of freedom.
I love that. I love that. Like, at this point in time, we're kind of like, it's okay to make an error. In the past, you make an error, it kind of sits with you for the rest of the game, and it kind of just affects your mental state, and then you kind of make another mistake, and then it kind of just snowballs. So it's good that the girls are grounded enough to go, okay, I've made an error, next play, and that's probably something that I've noticed a lot this year, particularly in that North Melbourne game, where they were just completely all over us. But I saw the continuous fight for the remainder of the game. The scoreboard didn't reflect the effort at all. So that's probably one thing that I've noticed this year. I don't know if the other two have noticed the same, but I just think that, the continuous fight and just the continuous effort has always been there across every game this year.
Yeah, and again, they're the behaviours that we kind of discussed as a group in the preseason, and we want to live those kind of behaviours as often as we can. And I think we all understand that North Melbourne are a really good side, and that was a great day to kind of go, hey, why not have a real crack and continue to try and be brave with the ball, and if that means they outscore us by a lot, then that's okay. But let's see what can stack up. And that was the first time Poppy went forward, and she takes a big mark and kicks a goal, and it just brings life to you. So they've been terrific at that.
Masterstroke putting her forward, by the way.
Well, she's going to be an amazing defender. I can assure you of that. Her long-time spot will be in defence, I'm pretty sure. But, she's given us something extra special up forward too. Her ability to mark the ball and compete on the ground is exceptional for someone of her size.
Yeah, look, and her sister Matilda is just as good. So, if that's what's coming, is there any more Schultz sisters we can pick up?
No, I remember draft night. Now, we'd tracked Poppy for a few years. Actually, Poppy actually did a school tour through Carlton, and obviously an amazing facility. But she went to a school in Adelaide that was over for a weekend, and I remember I saw this girl, and I've just started watching some of the underage footy. I was like, I reckon I know who that is. So gave her the bells and whistles tour, this school group, sat down, showed them everything. And I said, Poppy, I said, anyone play some state league footy? And she puts her hand up. I said, you're Poppy Scholes, aren't you? I said, I reckon you'll be captain of Carlton one day. And we were lucky enough to draft her and get her in. And her mum and dad at the time, getting back to Matilda, I remember that night we were a quiet red wine at the bar, and they said, we love Matilda. She's a great player, but when she has the ball, our heart's in our mouth a little bit. Like, we're not quite sure what will happen when we watch Poppy play and she's got the ball, we're as calm as, because we know she's a great player. So I think we got the best one, but time will tell.
Yeah.
Time will tell. No.
Yeah.
Well, we won't keep you too much longer, Bucky. We do appreciate your time, especially in a massive week like this. So, no, thank you so much for joining us and giving us just that little bit of insight on the year that has been so far. We're going to be there on the weekend cheering you guys on. So, anyone get down to Icon Park, 3:05 p.m. It may be raining. Who cares? Get your gear
Doesn't
on.
matter.
Get to Icon. Make the place as loud and as noisy as possible, because you know what? There's not going to be very many West Coast fans. So drown them out if there is any.
Yeah, that's terrific. No, I love coming on and love chatting footy. This is my favourite subject with you guys. Don't worry about that. So I think Thursday we have an open training as well. I think the gate's open at 9. So anyone who can come down and kind of have a look at the players, and we'll do some signing and stuff after that too. So it should be a cool day.
No, well, thank you so much for your time tonight. We'll let you get back to it. But no, all the best for the weekend. Fingers and toes are crossed. We're going to be cheering nice and loud. But no, thanks again, Bucky.
Perfect.
Thanks, Coach.
Nice.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Mate.
Wow.
Coach Buck. It's Coach
Wow.
Buck. That was great.
Was I shaking the entire time during that interview? Absolutely. Did I fumble over my words? Absolutely.
No, you were great. You did really well. You carried that
How
very well.
exciting.
Oh my God. So, wow. This is probably the biggest guest we've ever had. So what a week to bring a big guest on. Thank you for that, Tez. Thank you for organizing that. But
Oh, look, I would love to take the credit, but it's not really on me. Like, he volunteered his time. I just put out the invitation. So shout out to Matisse, who,
yes,
put it out there. And yeah, well, I think it's great. I mean, there's so many interesting bits from that conversation there. I don't know.
Mhm.
Amanda, what did you take from what we just heard that stuck to you?
I really enjoyed hearing about the exit interviews from last season because, like Shan said, we saw towards the end of last year that the team was starting to get more of that cohesion and was starting to really develop, but it obviously wasn't the best season. And for them to know that and to come away from that and just put everything into place from then, from the exit interview to set up this year, I think was really interesting to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
when he mentioned how he was sent on a tour to go, so I don't know if he said exactly where he went. I think he said the US, but he went to have a look at some elite women's sport from around the world. And I thought that was a really interesting bit there to see, what the club's investing in there in development of the coaches as well as the players. And then also just to give him that reassurance that this is how modern sport is. This is how the new age athlete is. And I wonder if that helped him, just let it flow when it came to the Carlton women. Because now that I think about it, they are very loud when they come out of the race at home game. They are extremely loud. They are screaming and squealing and stomping. So
they're loud when they sing the song as well, which is something that I've noticed this season. They're a very celebratory group, which I really enjoy. I would be interested to know whether there's a difference between the younger players and some of the older players in terms of that that loudness and whether they buy into it as easily.
I reckon our older crop would. I reckon they would jump in on the hype, 100%. And I
think they've wanted to. They just haven't been able to enjoy themselves as much the last
Yeah.
few years, you know?
Yeah. I think they've been very wary of how they conduct themselves. But I think with that license just to go and do you and be you is just refreshing to hear from a senior coach.
Yeah.
Like they're not as stringent and like you have to do this, you have to do that. No, this is what we want you to do. And this is how you should like conduct yourselves. And the girls have just been, it's probably just been their best season I've actually seen them for a very long time. And it shows in our results and it shows in where we're sitting in this current moment in time, like preparing for an elimination final. Like I wouldn't be sitting here 3 years ago and saying we were going to be making finals in 2025 with the way that we were playing.
Oh, hell no.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like what an amazing transformation it has been in the last 2 seasons. It was obviously going to be a little bit of teething issues last season in Bucky's first year, just, understanding each other, working out the game plan. But this year, even just hearing him tonight just solidifies to me that he is the right person that is going to take this group to the ultimate.
Yeah. Well, there's a good blend now, isn't there? I mean, there's just a good blend. I think the youth that's come in, as you mentioned, I mean, they're very talented. Poppy and Sophie, who we've seen a lot of this year at the level, they've impacted and they bring energy as well, and obviously lead the charge off the field and all of that. But then they've got some steady heads around. I mean, Darcy, Gab, Harriet, and I mean, I spoke to Maddie Gearin last night, and Maddie's got this maturity about her as well now. Because Maddie's come from a situation where she's been, a couple of ACLs. She's had to dial in her preparation. She's had to really perfect it. So, you've got, Skipper, Mimi. I mean, there's just good influences around, and Mimi and if you take Mimi and Abby, for example, now, they're not the 2 youngest guns that have come into the team anymore. They're now in that, early to mid 20s bracket. I wouldn't say, I don't want to use the word old, but they're a bit more experienced in being a professional now,
Yeah, they've both hit 50 games now at the level.
Yeah.
So that, if you put that into perspective, only a handful have just played their 100th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way that the competition is evolving, these girls are now seen as that bracket where, they've got that experience and they can lead these younger players. And going back to what Bucky was saying, that like we've had this conversation before, Terry, around the girls coming through the pathways now, and that in the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to see that transition of players that had only ever played senior football, didn't really have much experience in that junior space, kind of whittle away. And all of these girls now are going to be coming through the talent pathways. Like the improvement of this game is going to explode in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already start to see it. The amount of young guns there are across the entire competition is dramatically increasing. Every team has at least 2 or 3 of those 18 to 19-year-olds who are excellent footballers.
Yeah. And a lot of them have, like Bucky said, a lot of them have played more football than those that have been in the system for a long time, because they've had that opportunity from juniors through to senior football.
It's just great, guys. It's
Yeah.
just great.
And like you said, Tez, the balance is really good now with those younger players, and a few players who have been there for, quite a long time, but then also players that have been brought in over the last season or 2. I'm thinking specifically of Harriet Cordner and Tara Bohanna, who have had a massive impact on the team.
Absolutely. Just their level-headedness, their experience, their bigger bodies, just being able to like hit the contest hard. Like Tara doesn't have to kick 1,000 goals. It's just her being there and just her ability to direct traffic.
Yeah, her leadership in the forward line has had a huge impact.
Absolutely. And it would be remiss of us not to actually talk about the game that just happened.
Oh, yeah.
There was a game that we played on the weekend. And ironically, that the results all fell our way afterwards anyway. So, but it was good to get the win. What did you guys make of the game?
I thought that it was pretty evenly matched up until that fourth quarter when really started to break away. Bucky before was talking about Maddie Hendry, and I think she's somebody who, particularly in that fourth quarter, really took the game on and had a really big impact. The goals were being, sort of more peppered in that fourth quarter. I think that's when we kicked the most goals. I think it was 4. And I feel like, despite the fact that I just said it was evenly matched, the Blues were playing better throughout the game and were a little unlucky in some instances and circumstances throughout the game. But it was pretty tight. And then in that fourth quarter, I really felt I could breathe again.
Absolutely. Yeah, we kicked 4 goals to 1 in that last quarter. And I think Maddie's tackle in that last period, just before, left about 5 minutes to go, just before we went bang, bang. I remember they did a post-game interview with her, and she said that she was pretty much, without saying it, she was like shitting herself. But she played it so perfectly, didn't infringe on the player at all, because the umpire had his whistle in his mouth for the entire game. And I was getting angry.
You were getting pretty angry.
Got a few texts from Shannon during the game as well about it.
I was getting very angry, but no, I'm kind of glad that we get to replay West Coast, because there are a couple of players that I really think we need to kind of watch. And one of those, the Wakefers, Ella Roberts.
Oh, star.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a star.
She's only 20.
Is she? Yeah, I've never noticed. Like, I've never really watched her play.
No.
Yeah.
No, she 27 disposals, 19 contested, 8 tackles. So she's going to be one of the players that we need to be very mindful of, because she did get a little bit off the chain on Friday. And I just think, we need to be on top of her from the get-go.
Yeah, more of a plan put into her, and they'll also get back Jess Wrench.
Oh, from suspension?
From suspension as well.
Yeah.
Who is somebody that they're also going to need to put some time into planning for.
Yeah.
Listen,
did we make any changes?
They're going to put time into our players, because when Ronnie goes into that midfield, there's something out. There's like an ace up the sleeve.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And I'm actually not mad about it. And I just hope, I think Dana was held really well for the first 3 quarters of the game. I want her to, I want Bucky, I should have said this to him. I want him to give her the license to just go. Just let her run up and down that icon wing. It's her wing. Yeah. It's the Dana Finn wing. Yeah. Let her go.
They're fitter as well. The Blues are fitter than the Eagles, I think. So just tie them out.
We ran out the game really well. And the ground at Icon, I believe, might be a little bit bigger than the one that they played on in Perth, which suits us.
They ran out the game very well, especially considering it was nearly midnight for them by the time it finished. And they'd had a 5-day turnaround, and they had to fly the 4 hours to Perth.
True.
Thanks, AFL. Thank you.
Yeah. Just goes to show, doesn't it, when you talk about 5-day breaks and things like that, your attitude and your mentality, anything's possible. So what have they got now? They've got the 8. I mean, both teams have the 8-day break, so there's no real advantage or disadvantage either way. Although I forgot to ask Coach. Amelia Velado was a laid out.
Oh, that's right. Yes. I wanted to ask about that as well.
Yeah. But there's, I don't believe
awareness.
Okay.
But it looked like she was at training today in the pump up video that the club posted.
Yep.
Which they got the year wrong, then reposted.
I did see
one thing they've done all year, I will say, is they haven't rushed anyone from injury. If they've
No.
needed to give them the extra week, they haven't taken or seemingly haven't taken too many risks.
Yeah, they gave Mim the extra week.
Yep.
Mhm.
I believe they gave Abby an extra week earlier in the season,
Yeah.
but I do believe it was hamstring awareness. So whether she comes back in and O'Connell goes back out, don't get me wrong, she played a really good game, O'Connell, for someone who's barely touched a football in her life. She said she moved to Melbourne in June, so she's
Wow.
yeah. So she's only been here for a handful of months and she's taken the game on like nobody's business. So whether it's a straight swap, I'd be comfortable with that, having Mills back in the side. Just her ability and her level-headedness this year.
Yeah.
She's taken that next step, in my
She
opinion.
really has.
But yeah, that would probably be my only change if we were to make one.
Yeah, only if she's 100% fit as well. You never know with, a hamstring awareness, whether that is that we're just being cautious or whether there's more of an issue there.
I'd say given a 5-day break, flying to Perth, if you feel a little bit tight, don't bother.
Don't bother. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel the 8-day break at home, a week to properly prepare yourself, potentially. Probably won't get the injury list until tomorrow.
We'll know from Thursday's training session whether she's
Yeah.
training fully or not.
Yeah.
And then whether
Absolutely.
she's
We
likelihood
can just
to
ask her.
play.
Are you
Yes.
are either of you going to be there Thursday?
It's
Unfortunately, no.
it's my last day at the AFL.
Oh,
Yeah, so I got to be in head office to hand my stuff back. So I will not be there, unfortunately, but I am hoping the rain changes its mind so I can at least get the kids there on Saturday.
yeah.
It's not looking likely at the moment. It might be a solo effort, but we'll see how we go.
The girls might be used to playing in the rain at this point
I think so.
after the past couple of weeks.
True. Giants, Eagles, and then
Yep.
great.
Yeah. Predictions before we wrap it up?
Blues by 5 goals.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it'll be a similar game, but I think we'll be better prepared for it. I think it'll be a draw maybe at quarter time, and then I just think we've got an extra gear in most games that I've watched this year, and I think they'll be too good. I think they might take a little bit of time to settle. Hopefully not too long. It's just all going to be about how long that takes. But once they settle into the game and just dial into the moment, I think they'll be too strong. So Blues by 22.
I think the first 5 minutes of the first quarter are going to be frantic for both sides because this is West Coast's first finals appearance ever. So I feel like the nervous energy at the ground's going to be like palpable, and both teams that this is going to be absolute chaos for the first 5 minutes, but it'll be whoever settles first, which I think will be us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say us by 25.
Oy.
And
Right.
our likely opponent for next week will probably be Hawthorn.
All right, let's just one contest
game at a time.
It's finals footy. Who cares?
Says Shan, who's been doing a ladder predictor every single week since round one.
So is Tez. Thanks.
I have it. I am very partial to a ladder predictor. Don't worry.
We don't need to do them anymore.
Yeah. So the winner of us and the Eagles will play
The loser of North and Hawthorn.
North and Hawthorn. Okay. And
then the trajectory goes across to be the winner of Melbourne and Brisbane.
are all the home finals in Victoria at Icon Park?
There's 3 games at Icon Park. So there's one Friday, one Saturday, one Sunday.
But even so, next week. So if Hawthorn lose, is that game at Icon Park?
I'd want to hope so. Because I'm not going to fucking Frankston.
No, as in, I'm just saying, like there's such an opportunity for Carlton.
Yeah.
You know, like it's the home of AFLW.
I think that they do play most Victorian finals at Icon Park, and
Well,
unless
yeah.
there's a clash. So
Well, they're playing North and Hawthorn at Icon Park on Friday night.
Okay.
So you'd think now that Icon Park would be the premier venue. So we play there, North and Hawthorn, so Kangaroos and Hawthorn play there, and Melbourne and Brisbane play there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The only
There's
interstate final is at Norwood
two
Oval.
games this week that is the same opponents playing each other as last week. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, North and Hawks and us and Eagles. Nice.
Bizarre.
It's very strange.
Doesn't usually happen in men's football, but it's more than likely. And like we probably won't see Adelaide at all in this final series unless they make the grand final with us. So not mad about that.
No.
And I kind of want Melbourne to beat Brisbane. So if we do make a prelim, it'll be in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So.
But we beat Brisbane in Brisbane.
We did.
Yeah. That was the turning point of our season. It was I'll tell you what it was. It was the Poppy Schultz contest, second quarter. That was the turning point of this team because there was an edge that was brought to the group.
Yep. Oh, I just can't believe we're playing finals, guys.
It's so exciting to be here for finals football.
It's good. No, it's good.
It's good energy. Good energy. Bring the energy. And you guys bring the energy on Saturday afternoon because everyone should be at Icon Park. There is no excuses. We are in finals football. It is a rare opportunity to watch our girls in full flight at Icon Park.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Get there.
Just wear a poncho. It'll be fine. Actually, it's undercover. There's a
undercover.
whole.
You can sit undercover.
There's a whole stand. Go sit there.
There's thousands of seats.
Yeah.
But no, what a show, guys. Wow. I don't think we can top that one. Coach Buck. I'm still smiling. Coach Buck.
That's good.
Well, I reckon we should wrap it up, folks.
Let's do it.
Getting late. But no, thank you both so much for joining tonight, including our special guest, Mathew Buck. Huge. I will see hopefully both of you on the weekend. Go the Baggers.
Go Blues.
Go Blues.